So here's just a second example on solving systems of equation by substitution, and we're going to follow the same process. Okay. So here are our equations. 3x minus y equals 7, 2x plus 3y equals 1. So to find out what variable I'm going to solve for, I'm going to look for a coefficient of 1 in here. So this is a coefficient of 2, coefficient of 3, coefficient of 2, coefficient of -1 right here, and a coefficient of 3. So I will choose to solve this equation for y because I know that when I go to solve for y, I won't have to divide by anything. Okay? So I'm going to solve equation 1 for y. So take the equation. To solve for y here, I'm going to need to get rid of this 3x term. Since it's positive, to get rid of positive 3x, I'll have to subtract 3x. So if I subtract 3x here, I notice that 3x minus 3x gives me 0, and they cancel off, leaving me with just y on this side of the equation. Of course, what I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other side. So I get 7 minus 3x. Okay? So that leaves me with negative y equals 7 minus 3x. Remember though, I want to solve for positive y. So that I can think of this as negative 1y here. So to get rid of this negative sign, all I really need to do is to divide by negative 1. Okay. In this case, a negative divided by a negative is going to give me the positive y. So if I divide this by negative 1, I also need to divide these by negative 1. So I get 7 divided by negative 1. And then the negative 3x divided by negative 1. So this, of course, gives me y. 7 divided by negative 1 is negative 7. And negative 3x divided by negative 1 gives me a positive 3x. So at this point, I've solved this equation for y. So I'm going to take this expression here, negative 7 plus 3x, and I'm going to plug it into the second equation, which is this one right here. Okay? So I take the second equation, I'm going to plug this in place of y. So I'm going to have 2x plus 3, and then my y. Right? So 2x plus 3, this is y. Okay, so 2x plus 3, this is y, and equals 7. So now I can solve this for x because there's only an x here, there are no y's. So I can see again, distributive property right here, this is 3 times negative 7. And this is 3 times positive 3x. Okay, so that's going to give me 3 times negative 7 is a negative 21. 3 times positive 3x is a positive 9x. Okay, I can group these two terms together. 2x plus 9x gives me 11x. So I get 11x minus 21 equals 1. Okay, so now I need to solve this for x. So that means I need to get rid of this minus 21 term here. So to get rid of subtract 21, I would add 21. So add 21 here. You notice negative 21 plus 21 gives me 0. Cancels this off, leaving me with just 11x on that side. Of course, what I do to one side of the equation, I need to do to the other side as well. So I also need to add 21 there. So this, of course, gives me 11x equals 22. To solve for x here, I'd had to divide both sides by 11. Divide by 11 here, so I get 11x over 11 equals 22 over 11. Of course, 22 divided by 11 is just 2, so x is 2. Now what I need to do is take this x value of 2, and I can plug it back in right here, because all I'd have to do is put my 2 right there, and then I could calculate y. Okay. So I take y equals negative 7 plus 3x. I plug in the 2. Of course, 3 times 2 is just 6. And negative 7 plus 6 is equal to negative 1. So my answers are x equals 2 and y equals negative 1. Okay?